You want to know how to build a product landing page? It's a free code camp challenge. Check this video out. Welcome to TC. In this video, we are going to build a product landing page. Something simple. It's a responsive web design challenge given to us by Free Code Camp. And we're going to cover all these 15 stories, user stories. And by the end, our product will be this. It's a small wolf clinic. It's a welcome therapy. It has a video and it has a small text right to the left. And it has your therapist or your doctors, which you're going to consult, and the doctor recommended products for the dogs and the puppies. And you can schedule an appointment with those dogs to be your therapist. All the way at the bottom, we have a small footer, which tells you a disclaimer in the footer. Without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into CodePen and we're going to start build this landing page. Log into your free CodeCamp account and go to this challenge where you have the build a product landing page. Take a minute, go through all the user stories. If you don't know what a user story is, please click on that link over here. It explains what user stories are. At this moment, you will see 15 user stories, and all the way at the bottom, you will see a template. Click on this template. It will open up in a new tab for you. I've already opened the template. Take a minute to read all what is there on your left side and inside your JavaScript column as well. At this moment, I'm going to delete this, and I'm also going to delete the JavaScript. We are not going to use JavaScript. Or at the same time, once you deleted the JavaScript, and you should see something blank and simple. Before we jump onto it, I wanted to do a couple of things. Right over here, all the way on the top, I am going to import the Roboto, which is the font style. Just copy this link, Control C, go back to your landing page, all the way at the top, paste this link over here, and go back to Roboto again. At bottom right side, you will see some CSS roles. Copy that, go back to your landing page, create, say, body tag. Inside that, paste the one which you've copied by Control V, save it. And I'm also going to change the background color. Currently it is set to white. I'm going to change this to black so that it doesn't blind my eyes, and I'm going to make the color as white. This is going to be our backup. If you remember from the section which we created, we have 5 sections. We are going to build those 5 sections one at a time. I just took a couple of screenshots just so that I remember what I'm coding. If you look at it, our first section would be this one, which is a wolf clinic, and which has all the way on the top, you will be able to see the navigation bar, which has a home, our story, our doctor's products and appointments. And there is a product logo, a little bit of text on the left, subtitle and image. So we are going to build this. Before we start building this, we need to wrap everything inside a one container or one wrapper. So what we're going to do is, first, I'm just going to do it as a product landing page, and I'm just going to type in as a dot product landing page, and you have not click, but if you hit tab on your keyboard, it automatically creates a class for you with that product page. So I'm going to bring this all the way at the top, and inside this, we're going to fill this one up. So what we're going to do, first, we are going to build a navigation. Inside that navigation, we're going to put in like a header tag. So create header tab. And I believe if you go back to your stories, my product landing page should have a header element with a corresponding ID header. So copy this, Control C, go back to your product page. Right over here, just paste that code, save it. Always a good habit to save it. And let's go back to the next user story. I can see an image within the header element with a corresponding ID header image. A company logo would be a good image here. All right, let's look at our company logo. Our company logo is simple, a small bone. FYI, I just want to iterate that I'm getting all these images from Pixabay. You can also get it from any other page or any website you want, as long as they are royalty free, where you don't need licensing. As long as you don't have a license to require, you're good to go. Now, if you go back to our product landing page or F60 challenge, we are going to build a navigation first. In order to build a navigation, there is a Bootstrap navigation provided to us. We don't have to say build the whole thing. It is already provided to us. Why invent the cycle when Bootstrap is giving you the entire code? So go to the Bootstrap. If you look all the way at the top, you will see navbar. You can select any of the styles which you want, whatever is applicable to you. When you're actually on this Bootstrap navigation bar page, I'm going to copy this code, copy, go back to your clipboard and just paste it over here and save it. Before your navigation to actually kick in, currently it shows like that, but we are going to import some CSS styles. Go to CSS, type in over here, Bootstrap, save, close, let's see. All right, we have our navigation over here. We're going to fix this in just 1 second. Now, let's look at our navigation all the way from the top. We have a header, okay, right? We have a link. And let's go back to your user story number 3. Within the header tag element, I can see a nav element with a corresponding ID navbar. So copy this, navbar all the way over here. We're going to paste this, save this. If you look at it, we haven't completed the header image. That will be done in just 1 second because we have to import an image over here. Currently, we have a temporary text. You can import this image from any website you want, but I'm going to use my own image. I'm going to delete this. I don't need that. And got an image over here. I'm going to set this one up, set this one up. I'm going to change this so that we know where we are working at. And this image gets an image ID. I got this from the header image. The header image, I pasted it over here. And we have a button and a span class. Okay, so we have a home. Right now I'm going to leave it as home, but I'm going to remove this span tag. We don't need the span tag. We're going to create 5 sections. And I don't need this span tag over here as well. I'm going to create another UI list item. Control C, 4, 5. We have 5 sections. I'm going to do that. I'm going to name this our story. This one going to be, our doctors. This one is going to be products. This one is going to be appointments. Save this. And let's have a look. Ooh. All right. We need to fix these styles. The image is way too big. So let's quickly go over here, save this. I'm going to install this, call this as nav styles. All over here, I'm going to target the nav bar ID, this one, all the way on line 9. So it's going to be nav bar. Oh, sorry. Remove the lowercase to nav bar. I'm going to add a background color to this nav bar. You can pick whatever color you want. I'm going to add some padding to the right. It's going to be 30 pixels. So yes. And each element, which is the anchor tag of the nav bar, which is some color. We're gonna make them a little bit white. F is a shortcut key for the white color. Just gonna give a width of 110 pixel. Oh, not 100, but say 110 as the pixel. And I'm also going to give some margin, say right about 5 pixel. Now, if we look back, we need to adjust our image. So currently our image in line 12 with a header ID or header image. So let's target that header image. It's super huge right now. So we're going to change that. All right, so we're going to give a width of 90 pixel. I'm going to give some margin 0, let's say 50%, and say max width of the image to be, let's say 700 pixel. Oh, 700 pixel. Let's save this. In order to see the color, we need to remove this BG light, and you save it. There you go. And we're going to make this top as fixed top. We are going to add a couple of more styles as well. We're going to add navbar light, navbar, nav, and navbar, no, nav-link. I'm going to add color, hashtag FFF. Going to save this for a second. Actually, you can see your color has been changed. If you go back up, if you look at your user story, I can see 3 clickable links elements with the nav element. Each have a nav link. So what I did is I added a nav link to all these links are already being provided to you in the Bootstrap, so you don't have to add additional nav links. It's already there for you. Just target those nav links and give some color, and you should see color. Not only that, I'm just going to give a width as well, say 110 pixel, and a margin to the right of 5 pixel, and save this. Now, important aspect, currently you have your navigation sitting all the way to the left side. In order for us to move all these items to the right, see over here in the UL elements which you created, which has a class of navbar nav and Mr. Auto. If you change from Mr. Auto to Miss Auto and you save it, it automatically moves all your elements to your right side. Now we have this navigation created, but we don't have any links to link them. So let's go back to your header, and we are going to build a, let's say, 5 sections. Give ID, let's say section 1. It's easy to target if you know by the name. So naming convention, make it whichever way is easy for you to remember or access, and you know which section you will be able to target it later using CSS or JavaScript. So I'm going to make 5 sections. I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to target these 5 sections. Go back up here, see where it says you have the href. Right after this hash, we're going to do section 1. Just copy this, paste this, make it 2, paste it. It's going to be 3, 4, and 5. Save it. Now this won't work because we haven't created any sections all the way at the bottom. So what we're going to do, if we go back up to your CSS style, I'm going to give some, say, height so that we can target it. Say, let's say for section 1, target section 2, Let's give a height of 700 pixel. We're going to do display, going to be a flex. Oh, right now we have only section 1 and 2 have 700 pixel, so you will only see 1 and 2. Let's see if our section 2 works. Let's click on our story. There you go. It takes you to section 2, which is good. That's exactly what we want. Now we are going to work on section 1 by building the 2 containers. I'm going to wrap everything into one container. Left container will have Wolf Clinic. Right container is going to have the image with a white background. Okay, go back inside your section 1. I'm going to bring this all the way down before I get confused. First, we're going to give them a class. Let's say class. I'm going to give styles over here, which is good. We're going to give 2 boxes. Let's say the first one is going to give them an ID, because ID has to be unique so that we can target by ID so that we don't get confused. And I'm going to make another div. Inside this div, I'm going to target the second container, which is going to be a box 2. All right, so if we go back up, right over here, your sections start. I'm just going to do commenting is always a good habit so that you know where your section starts, where your section ends. I'm going to target box 1, so ID hashtag box 1. Let's say I'm going to give some background color, Dodger blue. Width is going to be 40%. Height is going to be 75%. And I'm going to do the same thing for, let's say, box 2. And I'm going to uncomment this one. One of the user story is that we have to use flexbox. Here, all the way 15, user story number 15. My product landing page should utilize CSS flexbox. So we are going to use flexbox. That's why I gave the display as flex. Why I am creating 2 boxes? So that I know how large my container is and where the elements inside is going to be. After that, I'm going to remove this background color just to know once my styling is done, once we've raised all elements inside it. So first things first, inside your box 1, we're going to create an h2 tag. Say h2, let's give it a class. It's going to be intro wrapper, say title, and this is going to be Wolf Clinic. Say this. I'm going to give some styles to this Wolf Clinic. So copy this, paste it over here so that you don't make a mistake with your titles, names. I'm going to give a margin top of say 40%. I'm going to give a font size of say 90 pixel and font weight. Oops. You can do it as bold, or I'm just going to do 700. And text alignment, it's going to be center. Let's save it. Right over here, it comes all the way in the middle, perfectly aligned, perfectly set. Now we're going to give a subtitle to our clinic. So go back up, over here. You can use a span tag, but I'm going to use an h4 tag. Actually, let's do h4 tag instead of span. h4, going to give a class intro wrapper subtitle, and the subtitle going to say welcome to Wolf Therapy. Save this. Let's see where it is. Perfectly aligned, perfectly set. Looks good. Now we're going to give some styles to the subtitle. So copy this quickly, paste it over here into your styles so that we know. Okay, going to give a different color. So not going to give white. So I'm going to target FBFFA 5, and I'm going to give a font weight as. Going to do bold. I'm going to align the text just in case as center, and we are good to go. We're going to save this. Looks perfect. Yep. Now we're going to place our dog onto the right side. So if we go to your box 2, we're going to import an image. Before we import an image, I would like to insert the image into a container. So I'm going to give dev, going to give an ID as intro image. Inside this, I'm going to import my image. I'm going to quickly go to Pixabay. Yeah, that's where I'm getting all my images from, which is like royalty free. Find something where you can quickly download it and set it up. Save this. Oh, look, this is way too big, but we're going to adjust the styles for it. So let's see. Copy this ID, which is the intro image. ID should always be targeted with the hashtag. Control V. We're going to give a max width of say 600 pixel, and going to width of say 350 pixel. When you size it automatically, it will be more responsive if you do it max width and give a min width. I'm going to give a background color to this woof as FFF. Do we need anything else after this? Let's see. Let's do overflow. If there's any overflow, I'm going to hide this overflow. And I'm going to give some margin, say about 108 pixel. Oh, sorry, 0. Top right, bottom left, I'm going to say 76 pixel, 75 or 76. We need to target the image as well, which is way too big. So now we're going to target the intro image arrow. Next is it always captures the sibling right after this div. So the sibling after div is the image. I'm going to give a width of say 90%. I'm going to give some margin top so that it doesn't touch all the way at the top of it. I'm going to give 8%. Let's look how it looks. Looks good to me, but I want to give some border. So if we go back up, let's say height over here. So I'm going to give a border radius 50%. That makes it a perfect circle. In order to make a perfect circle, make sure your height and width are the same pixel amount and give a border radius of 50%. And if you save this, actually I'm going to make this as 100%. Save, scroll up, there you go. We have this book clinic right over here, and the image is set right next to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly jump on do some styles for this image on mobile as well. In order to do mobile, we don't know how the image is going to look. Is it going to wrap on top of the other, or is it going to be one on top of each other? We have no idea. So what we're going to do is, in order to do mobile, it is one of the challenges which is required to do by the project. If you go up, if you look at it over here at user story 14, my product landing page should have at least one media query. So we're going to create one media query. So at media screen, and we're going to target at max width, which will cover majority of our mobile devices such as iPhones, except the iPad or Galaxy Tabs or whatever it is. We're going to target two things. One, we're going to change our brand image, which is the bone which we created. So let's say that has a image. I'm gonna give only 50 pixel to make it small. I'm going to give some margin 0, 0, 0, 50%, and a max width of 700 pixel. Now, not only that, I'm going to change my boxes. So let's say box 1. I'm going to target both box 2 as well. Gonna make sure they have a full width of 100%. I want all the text to be aligned in center. At the same time, I want the content to be displayed in the center as well. Gonna save this. I'm going to actually change from 480, let's say 475 pixel. And I forgot to do our section 1. So section 1 is main. So I'm going to do display, which we need flex. If you remember from our FreeCodeCamp challenges, we have done few challenges where it requires us to do some columns so that they can stack one on top of the other. The only way you can stack one on top of the other is if you change the direction from flex direction from row to a column. It will stack one on top of the other. And I'm going to give some height, which is 570 pixel, and some padding all the way at the bottom so that they don't touch each other. Going to be 18 pixel. Going to save this. Let's go back up, and I'm going to change the point of view to use this. Currently they are side by side. Let's see if the orange will be on the top, blue should be at the bottom. Let's see if that goes. All right, there you go. The minute we came to say about 467 pixel, immediately we can see our image goes on the top, text will be at the bottom. We're going to target all these styles later as we go up, progress it. Currently this would going to be good enough for us. And let's go back and finish up our section 2. All right, section 2 also gets the same thing. We're going to give a class, container, fluid. Please save this. Always try to save it. Sometimes it happened to me. I was creating a project and CodePen broke and I lost all that information. Now, if you remember section 2 has two things. It has a video onto the right and we have some text onto the left. We're going to build this, which is one of the challenges. I believe it was number 6. I can watch an embedded video with an ID video. So we're going to target that user story number 6. In order to do it, go to your section 2. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give a dev. I'm going to do the same thing. ID, box 3, dev, ID, box 4, H2, and we're going to say we are who we are. It's going to be the header for this one. Section 2 over here. Let's target our section 2 H2. Okay, did we make sure? I'm gonna give a color. Don't want to give it as a black, but I'm going to give a darker navy blue, so it's 0405 2E. I'm going to give some font weight as bold. Box 3. I'm just going to copy the one from the top and just paste it over there so that we are targeting the same way which we targeted the first one. I'm going to uncomment this guy, save this. I'm going to create box 4, which is on the left. I will target the same way. Box 4, say mistake number over here, it has to be in brackets. Uncomment this, save this. All right, we have the same layout as the top. We're going to remove these background colors. I just wanted to have it for my own display so that I know how I'm targeting. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to build a wrapper for our image number 2, which is this one. I'm going to build a wrapper around it. I'm going to place that iframe inside that wrapper. And I'm also going to build a story. I'm going to build a wrapper for the story. So, for the story, let's start with the story. I'm going to give everything should be P class. Let's say class going to be video. Story wrapper, it's going to be p tag. I'm just going to copy some lorem ipsum. You can just Google that from Wikipedia, copy the text from there, come back up, save it, and inside our box 4 I'm going to bring in an iframe. If you don't know what an iframe is, I'm going to just leave the link for you guys. Iframes are where you can insert images. I mean videos, not images, videos. And you can use whatever source you want. And you can have some styles, tags, and everything. Try to put it over here. You can target it the different way and scenarios you can do. You can always put in timing as well. We're not going to do all that. I'm just going to get this video. By the way, I got this video from Pixabay as well. So if you go back to your Pixabay account, just copy it and paste it over here. Now, if I look at it, it used to be super huge. It covers the box. I'm going to give some styles to our text. I'm going to give some styles to our video as well. All right. Where is our text? Copy this class all the way from here. Come back up. So we created this class, which is a video story wrapper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some styles to it. I'm just going to give height 400 pixel. Let's say width to be the same size as 400 pixel. I'm going to give margin top and bottom to be 30 and left and right make it as auto, and I'm going to give a padding of 19 pixel. Let's give a border of 1 pixel solid. I'm just going to make this as black. Let's do a border radius as 20 pixel. I'm going to give some background color and just like make it white. And I'm going to use the same color which I used before. That is going to be 0405 TE. Save. And I think I missed F over here. Now we go save. Looks good to me. Scroll back down. And we are going to target section 3. Section 3 is completely optional. If you wanted to do it, you can do it. I believe this one, just wanted to show what section 3 is. It's going to consist of your therapist, like 3 dogs, Dr. Fluffy, Dr. Hungry, Brat. I'm just going to add some text. If you want to follow this, you can follow this, or you can always skip this section altogether. section 5 over here. Section 5 actually is the one where we need it. We're going to create this user story number 7 landing page as a form element. If you don't know how to create a forms, you can look at my previous section where we covered FreeCodeCamp, build a survey form. I'm just going to use the same styles and same procedure for the form, and I'm going to quickly do that section as well. Gonna give the same class container fluid. I'm gonna give a form wrapper with a dev class. I'm going to give a h2 tag. It says schedule and appointment, which we want the clients to make appointments with the doctors, whoever you're going to choose from. And we're going to use a form tag. Leave the action open for now, but if you go back to look at the user stories all the way at the bottom, when I click submit element, the email is submitted to a static page. So copy this. I accidentally clicked it instead of copying. Go back to your code, see where you have the actions, just paste that inside your action. So it's like a dummy form. Now, if you go back to your form, we need to give anything else an ID of submit to the input. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way at the end. First, I'm going to build some labels. For example, right over here, I'm going to go schedule an appointment, name, age, email, date of appointment, and the therapist they can choose from, and a submit over here. So I'm going to do a couple of labels and forms. So before we do it, I'm going to give a form group which holds all these elements. I'm going to give a label, and this label is for name. Let's say I'm going to give an ID as name label. I'm going to make it name. And I'm going to give an input. Type is going to be text. I'm going to do all these on a separate line so that I'm going to give an ID, say name, which matches to the attribute. And I'm going to say give a class. I'm going to show you why we give a class of form control. Actually, I'm going to stop this. I'm not going to give a class just to show you. I'm going to make it required. I'm going to give a placeholder. I'm going to write and enter your full name. Save this. Quickly go down, have a look. We have the form. It sits over here. It doesn't look right. So what happens if I give a class of form control? What this does is Bootstrap automatically behind the scenes, if you can look at it, I didn't give anywhere the class of form control. I just typed it class form control over here. If we go back, have a look, automatically Bootstrap gives the full name. It changes the text from the name will be from the left side going all the way to the top. Section, say 5. We're going to target our section 5. I'm gonna give a height of 500 pixels. Save this. So age is a number. So same thing, form group consists of a label. This is going to be a number. And I'm gonna give an ID, say number label. Form should say age. We need an input from the, say, the client, whoever it is. I'm going to make it input. It's not text. It's going to be number. If we go type, I'm going to do everything in a separate line. ID is going to be number. I'm going to do the same, give a class of form control. And I'm going to make this as required, and I'm going to give a min age of let's say 10. I'm going to give max 100. What am I missing? Placeholder. So placeholder, enter your age, save this, and I'm going to do a email, which is one of our user stories. Within the form, there should be an input with the ID of email where I can enter the email address. Sure, we're going to do that. So let's do same thing, form, group, label. It's going to be for email. Type as email. We're going to use the input type. Usually for the emails type is going to be as email. It's not going to be as just regular text. I'm going to put everything inside a separate line, and I'm going to give, say, name attribute. I'm going to make this as email. Let's say ID, going to be email, class, form control, placeholder. Oh no, now we're going to make this as required because we need this. Then do a placeholder, enter your email address, and I'm going to do just a couple of more things over here. I'm going to add a date of appointment, so I'm going to do form, group, do the same thing, label for date, let's say date of appointment, and we need input from the user. Type, we're going to make this as date, and I'm going to make this as appointment. I'm going to make this class as form control. I'm going to make this as required. Placeholder is going to be mmddyyyy. And at the end, I'm going to give another one, which is going to say select the doctors. So I'm going to be form, group, tab. Which therapist do you want it to? So p tag, please select your therapist. And inside this P, we're asking our users to select something. So what I'm going to do is we're going to ask our users to select one of the options we're going to provide. We're going to save this, quickly have a look at it. Okay, we have name, age, email address, appointment, select one options. You got Fluffy, Doctor, and Brad. All the way at the bottom, we're going to give a submit button, which is required by our user story. And with the email validation with the HTML5, if you go back up, if you make your name and the type as email, automatically you will get the HTML5 validation error. Right over here, we are going to create a submit button. So we're going to put that inside a form group again, and I'm going to give an ID submit, which is required. And not only that, I'm also going to actually, instead of giving submit over here, what we're going to do is we're going to create an input. Type is going to be submit. Here I'm going to give the submit ID, and at the same time I'm going to give a class Bootstrap default classes button primary, which makes it as a blue button. And if I save everything, go back up, have a look at the form, looks good, and we're going to give some classes. Now I'm going to give a small footer, create a footer. I already have this small footer created. So let's say all the way after the section, I'm going to save this. The footer says Wolf Clinic registered trademark of 2022. And I have a small tag, span tag, which says don't follow us, we know how to follow you. So this one goes all the way at the bottom. We can fix this. You can give whatever styles you want. I'm just gonna finish up the styles for section 5. I'm gonna give some form is way too big. But first I'm gonna give some form wrapper H2. I'm gonna give a width, no, H2 should be our header padding, 40 pixel from the top. I'm going to text align it in the center. Let's see, what if we do our form wrapper, let's say width 700 pixel, margin 0, auto. So we created our input element that holds the ID as submit, and what we're going to do is we're going to do some styles for it. I'm just going to do it as submit. I'm going to do text align just in case. I'm going to make this as center. I'm going to make the margin top. I'm going to make this as 30 pixel. Just save it. And what we're going to do right now is we pretty much finished all these user stories all the way. We did email validation is done, form has an input and ID as submit. When I click, we have this inside the action item. We did the nav bar with the top viewport. We made it as fixed up, and the product landing page should have at least one media query, number 14. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing mobile styles. Now we're going to target the intro image. Intro image is actually, if we look all the way up over here, where is our intro image? Here, this one, which holds the image of the dog. So currently it is pretty big. I'm going to reduce the size of it. So width, I'm gonna make it as 250 pixel. Height, gonna make it as 250 pixel. Gonna give a margin of say 140. You can do percentage or pixel. It's up to you, whichever thing it's easy for you. You don't have to do it as. All right, let me quickly make this as full page. Right click, inspect. We're gonna make this as mobile view. Look at this. Our image is all the way up top, and I have it set as iPhone 11 Pro. I'm gonna fix all these styles for it. Currently, they're all messed up. So I'm gonna change this. I'll close this one out. Remove, go back to the view editor. I'm gonna pull all the way, scroll down to our styles right over here. I'm going to do, let's say, the title as well. Say intro wrapper title. Gonna give a margin top of say 10%. Gonna give font size of 60 pixel. Save this. Let's go back, have a look. Oh no, wait. So look at this. This is pretty much how it looks when we, I think it's about 344, 345, 360 pixels. So this is set perfectly. We have the image on the top, text at the bottom, and we're going to fix the remaining styles as well. Let's say we're gonna do section 2. I'm gonna comment this one out. Section 2, we're gonna target that. Section 2 currently has the intro and the image. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna do the display as flex, and we're going to the direction currently set to the row. We're gonna change it to column, and we're gonna reverse it so that the video goes on the top and the text will be at the bottom. Let's say we're gonna give a 800 pixel and save this. I think we have it at the box 4. Let's do width 100%. 100%. I'm gonna give a height of 34%. I'm going to do margin top, let's say about 5%. Now the image is inside an iFrame, so I'm going to target iFrame itself, not the image. It's actually the video, the clip. It's inside iFrame. You can just target iFrame by itself. Currently it's pretty huge. I'm going to change it the width to 260. I'm going to give pretty much the same height as well, so let's do 260 pixel. This should be flex direction, not flexed. Typing error. Height, that font size, it's going to be 12 pixel. Let's save this, quickly have a look. I'm going to pull this to the side. Look at that. We have the image, not the image, the video on the top. We have text. I'm going to reduce the size and the width of this one as well. So I'm going to close this, change it. And that was inside the video story wrapper. So it's video story wrapper. Let's give a height of 400 pixels for the wrapper, and width going to be smaller, so it's going to be 250. Let's reduce the size of the font. Currently it's pretty huge. Save. Quickly have a look. All right, now the size decreased, and lorem ipsum is also pretty. We are looking at a mobile device approximately at iPhone 11. So I'm going to finish off the section 3 as well. Let's comment this. It's going to be section 3 styles. I'm going to target the H2 tag inside the form wrapper. It's going to be H2 text align to the left. Let's see if this works. Comment, change this. Just bring it over here. All right, we have this set over here. We have our Wolf Clinic. We can change the color, and if you want, I'm gonna change the color of the footer as well. If we scroll up after section 5, right before, let's say footer, background color, hashtag 666, save it. Oh, background spelling typo, save it. There you go. We changed the background color to light grayish, and you have a white text. Now we completed pretty much all our user stories. Now quickly have a look to see if we passed our user stories. Go to your suite, select the suite. We are working on the product landing page, and we're going to run the test. Look at that. We passed all 16 out of 16. Now, if you haven't passed the test, all I suggest you is click on the pass, or if you have anything, go through each of these questions to see which one you have been able to do it. Follow the instructions. Go back to your chapters, have a look at it if you haven't know how to do it. This should be pretty much easy.